Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another HI podcast. This is your boy, You Heard 2008 EP. With me, I have Cajun for Life.
As always.
And also, I have Cursed Plague.
Hello again.
All right, also, we have a guest host today. So, please introduce yourself.
Hey, I am Mr. Pob190. Some people here may know me, some people may not. I just like to game. I like to talk about stuff about games, about home too. I just consider myself a pretty swell guy, if I do say so myself.
Well, that is amazing. Thank you for joining us tonight, Pop. This is our second podcast that we're doing, and hey, we wanted to go ahead and open up the envelope, having some different guests come and visit us, and we can have a lot of things to be able to discuss and talk about. Now, one topic that I really wanted to talk about tonight was that Friday, Japan home version, which is SCEJ, basically announced that they are not doing any more upgrades as far as content for the Japan home. I went to the forums. I looked at a lot of different types of comments that people have left. They feel a certain way about it. A lot of people say, oh, is this the end of home? Or is it?
That really caught me off guard. People thought it was the end of home altogether. For the most part, it's just Japan home. And what people are saying now is that people are going to move over to NA or EU. So I don't really know how people aren't really taking that very well.
Well, not only do you got the Japan not doing new content anymore, but it was announced as well that Asia is going to be stopping September 30th, I believe, that they're not going to be doing any more content. So that's two home servers right there. That's what the heck just happened, you know?
The way I see it is that basically this is one of those moments where I think that home's not going to be the same afterwards. Either something's going to change about it, they may be thinking about starting to shut down, but I honestly think that won't happen for a good couple of years at least. As far as I can tell from what it seems like is that whenever home does start shutting down, they're at least going to give us like a month's warning before content stops being pulled. And after that, I think they'll probably keep it going on for maybe a half a year to maybe a whole year afterwards. They just won't do any content updates. And then I think that's when they'll probably shut down home as we know it, from what I can tell. But I doubt NA home or home in general is going to be shutting down anytime soon, in my opinion at least.
You say 30 days, but what kind of 30 days was that for Japan users, if you know what I mean? They didn't get no warning about that. Bam. It was like, what, a day notice? They ain't coming out with no more update? That's kind of rough.
I thought that Japan and Asia are getting cut off at the same day, or did I mishear that?
The servers are still going to be going. That's not going to stop. It's just they're not going to receive any more new content. But there's also a new document, though, for a little upside. I think it was Grandzilla posted on the Home Gazette that they got new stuff for the NA coming out. A new personal space coming out. I don't think they put the name of it, but they said something about a new personal space coming out in October 2013. So new content's still going to happen for the NA. It's just bad news hearing about, Asia and Japan.
Well, now keep in mind that as far as content update, does not go into effect until March of 2014, and that's all across Asia. So that affects the Hong Kong server. Now, the thing is, I know some people from just having general conversation with friends, a lot of people actually go to Japan, and normally they always say that they normally don't see people there. But the biggest thing is that you have to look at too. Most of the people that you actually see is in North America and Europe. That's where the money is. So as a company, for me, I would consolidate it all. Would you not go ahead and keep your focus on those regions where you make the most money?
And not only that, if you look at it this way too, of all the events that was happening over there in Japan, that I think it was Grandzilla that was doing most of the hosting for those events in Japan, maybe now they could spend more time on the EU and the NA and start having those events start showing up on our servers, and maybe we can start getting a little bit more involved that way too.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know that Grandzilla, one of the big things is that they didn't have their events come over to NA or EU for like months on end, so maybe they'll get better about it this time. But either way, from what I can tell is that nearly 55% of the profits or something around that, like nearly half of the profits on home come from NA alone. And I hear Japan and Asia were where the least profits were made. So like EP said, from a business standpoint, it's almost a no-brainer almost to start focusing on where you make the most money from.
And with that, if you bring, Japan and Asia to EU, maybe now you can level out EU and NA, and that way they equal each other in the amount of profits each one is getting.
Now, one thing that kind of interested me was I've heard from a lot of people that Japan home and Asia home had like a lot more interesting items, but quite like a smaller population, which was really interesting to me. So I'm hoping that plays out a little bit into NA and EU when they stop new content.
Well, you have to look at it like this. You have to create content for your region. And that was the biggest thing about home when it first came out. A lot of things that we got here, like, say, for example, we celebrate 4th of July. So that was a big thing that any developer will concentrate on. They will create content because it is for that time of year. Now, not to say that, all the other regions or countries actually celebrate that. A lot of them don't. So why not go ahead and focus your content on different various things. Now, who's to say that a lot of the events that they were having in Japan was not a way for them to get more people involved to go ahead and increase revenue? And basically, a lot of people did not want to use home as far as in Japan or whatnot. Who's to say that that wasn't really the main cause of them going that direction?
And it may have been. You may be right about it, but at the same time, I mean, my biggest thing about this was, and I'm not saying it's going to happen to the North America or the EU, but it could. And the thing I'm concerned about is the way they came out with the announcement and how it's hidden and not a lot of people can see it. And yet you have to look for it. And then how many days did they have before they get their new content? And bam, all of a sudden now you're not getting it. I mean, the same thing could happen to the North America and to the EU because it is the beta system. It's a beta application.
Well, as far as content updates, it's basically the same time. For Japan, they're pretty much a day ahead of North America. So for them, that would be Thursday. They're pretty much a day in advance of us. So that's the thing you have to look at. When home shuts down, everything happens as far as maintenance, patches, whatnot, whatever is going on. That's when that happens. That they're giving them a notice that this is going to stop happening. You have to really look at the regions. A lot of people that I know from North America, they actually go over to Japan. A lot of people do. A lot of people like to go to a different quiet server, different type of experience there. I've known people would even buy PSN cards just to purchase items for Japan. However, a lot of the money that mostly circulates is in North America and Europe. Those are the strong foundations for home. And going forward, why not go ahead and consolidate home into either one server where across the board, Europe and also North America can be able to come together? Is this the actual whole 360, a new home is going to be a rise? There's a lot of questions that's being asked. A lot of people feel sad about Japan Home is not doing any updates. However, at the same time, that could be a plus for us. That means that, therefore, we can be able to interact with different people from different regions, just like the FIFA space when they came out with that. It's opened up a bigger home. So why would that be a hindrance? Would that be something you would like to see?
I wouldn't mind seeing a global home for once. I mean, I remember FIFA, when I went to it, it was actually really interesting because I didn't realize at first that people from all other regions were there. So I actually liked the FIFA space of like a bunch of people did. So I think a global home in one form of server instead of being divided into the regions would be a actually really good idea, and I'd like it.
Well, most definitely. I would love to see a fully evolved home. I would love to see that. Honestly, home has been in the beta stage for the last, 5-6 years it's been out now. And pretty much at this point, the only thing that home can do, if they plan to keep home, because there's no official announcement as of yet. Everyone assumes that it's not going to be. Everyone assumes differently. We have no idea. It's a possibility they could be working on something new as far as new idea to go ahead and consolidate all of home into one where it's not several servers. The biggest thing you always have to look at to run a server costs a lot of money. You have to think about maintenance. You have to think about the content that you're bringing, paying the developer, or developer is banking on probably making money off content that does not sell. And in the economy that we do live in today, a lot of people are not really spending that much money anymore. You do have your average home users who buys content every week. Pop.
Hey
However,
now.
however, I'm the same way. If I see something that I like, of course, I will love to buy it. And 9 out of 10, I will. I would sit there and say, "Hey, I want this content or this new club that comes out or this new personal space or this new outfit." I'm the exact same way. Now, my question is to Curse. Now, Curse, would you like to see a global home? Will that be something you want to see?
Oh, of course I would. Of course I would. I mean, this has been discussed a lot. And yeah, like Pop said earlier, the FIFA space was probably one of my favorite spaces of all time. I mean, at first it was kind of confusing because people are speaking a bunch of different languages until I realized, oh wait, NA isn't the only region here. So it was pretty interesting to see how people from different areas kind of tried to converse and things like that. So yeah, I would like to see that.
Now, also, Curse, I want to ask you this. When interacting with other people from different regions, did you feel that you were offended by anyone or anything like that? Was it more smooth sailing for you?
I mean, actually, I rather hang around with a bunch of people from different regions than everyone from NA because there's, how some people can be. So I was surprised at how like nice some people were.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I mean, a refresh of just being around different cultures, I think, can make a real big difference. Pop, same question. So what did you feel about it, Pop? Like, honestly, did you feel offended by meeting any other different people from different regions? Did you get any type of bad vibes or bad energies from different people?
Well, the thing that I learned there is that NA is basically the region that has the most trolls or people who just like to do things like that. Or I've been to Japan home before, and I didn't notice any fams over there, and I didn't notice as many trolls in Japan either. I haven't been to EU, so I couldn't exactly say about EU, but from what I saw at the FIFA arena, I didn't notice many trolls or anything of that sort of nature there either. So it was a really good feeling to it. It felt more of a mature vibe, to say the least.
Well, pretty much what was told to me that it's a more quiet region. Now, when you don't have so many people involved in that space, of course, it's going to be a little bit more quiet. Of course, you may feel like it's going to be a little bit more mature. We have so many users that use in a home because of its content. We have one of the highest contents out of all the other regions. You can actually go to Alpha Zone 4 and actually check that out for yourself. You can see that they have created so much more content for the North American region. Now, the biggest thing that I look at like this, would you like to see, let's say, if home does survive, if home does flourish, would you like to see across the board content for both the regions? Or would you like to see it being as individual as is?
Oh, of course, I would love to, have like across the board, like releases for certain types of items and stuff like that. Because sometimes I'll see on the forums, like, oh, this was released in Japan, this was released in EU. I'm like, man, I wish we could have stuff like that, And then sometimes we get cool stuff, and then people in Japan and EU are like, wow, I wish we had that, So I wish it was a lot more equal,
As of right now, we're the only region that has the diamond space right now. Hopefully soon, EU will be able to have that as well.
To honestly tell you the truth, I don't feel it's a problem for EU, Asia, and Japan. Well, yes, it is a problem for them, not a problem for us. For the reason of North America's server is used of all the trolls, of all the fams, of all the whatever they do, whatever you call it that they do. But at the same time, the EU people and Asia people and the Japan, they are not used to that. And a lot of times you'll get the feeling, if one of those type of people were to go over there to their servers, they would cause a lot of trouble because they're not used to handling people like that. Over here in North America, we are. That's why we requested the ignore buttons, the mute buttons, and all the other things that they've added in PlayStation Home for us to be able to just ignore these type of people. That way we don't even see what they're typing, or most of the time don't even see them, you know what I mean? But once again, they're not used to that. So I don't see it as a problem for us to be able to integrate with them. I don't see them being a problem to integrate with us. I see us being a problem to integrate with them because of the amount of stuff that does happen on our PlayStation, on the North American PlayStation Home.
Now, the biggest thing I want to say, I've researched YouTube a lot, and one thing, there are actual videos of trolling happening in EU.
Oh, but it's for sure not as prominent as it is in NA. I guarantee you that. I have an EU account. And I like to just like walk around different spaces that we don't have in NA, and it's there, but I mean it's in very very low quantity.
Me personally, how I feel about fams, me personally, this is just keeping it straight 100. The biggest thing is I don't have a problem with the fams. They don't bother me. I don't bother them. I've had some fam members come up to me and ask me, "Hey, are you in a fam?" A lot of times with most most fams that I've noticed, that I've seen just being around home altogether, is that they need more people. The more people they have, the bigger their family can get. Fams, I remember at the time, really became popular because before they wasn't really that popular until about close to 3 years ago. A lot of people really wanted to learn about home. A lot of people wanted to be able to hang out with just different types of people and different walks of life. Because of fams, being at home does not really bother me or change my perception of how I use home or how I feel about home, honestly. Most people can view us having just a club as being a fam.
How did we come up with the name fam anyway? That's what I really want to know. How did we come up with the name fam? I mean, they're groups. They're pretty much almost, the cybernetic version of the gangs, if you want to go there. How do we call it? When I think of fams, I think of a family. And now I can understand, people together. You got your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, da-da-da-da-da for PlayStation Home. Yeah, I could get that. I understand that. You live in another world inside PlayStation Home. But how in the world did we come up with fams for these people? That's what I really would like to know.
I think the thing is that it was everyone was like you want to join my family, as in like mafia kind of thing. Those are the biggest ones back when Godfather 2 Space came out, and I think we just put it as an acronym to apply to all of these groups that are generally like that. And the way I see trolling on home is trolling on nearly all other servers is about the size of a Twinkie. I see the Twinkie for the NA home is about the length of Manhattan Island and as tall as the Empire State Building. That's the way I see trolling in home, at least right now. That's how big it is. I see difference between the regions and all that. That's just what I think.
I like that analogy.
Can we talk about trolling trolls?
Well, the biggest thing, I don't want to get too far off topic. But the biggest thing is, since we are on the topic of groups in home, there are all different types of groups. You have your hacking group, you have your families, you also have people who, like us every day, we just want to educate people about home. We want to talk about the things that we love about home. And everyone shares the same idea. Even though we're all separate, even though we're all different, even though we have all different goals, we are still one community. Regardless, we may be divided in the points of views of how we feel that we accept certain things that we feel at the time is not us. Yet we're still part of the same. Just like for myself, me running Incognito, I have update meetings every week. My goal was to help people understand home, have a great time, create events, do fun things, because at the time we wasn't really having that many events. At the time we weren't getting events like Japan does, but just something that's user-based content where we can be able to create things for users to do to have a great time. I remember my story on it. I remember HCVs, Jared Squall, Nardi, Chronos Viper, Sophronia, just to name a few. Paul Sfarin, Falco Tanner. They used to go out into public spaces and glass walls will come out. You may have some random developer or someone who may come out, some special VIP person. We pretty much hang out in Central Plaza. It was great. Those were good times. I really cherish those things.
Why did you talk about Central Plaza?
I know, right? That was so back in the day. I missed it so much. Honestly, I want to say this for the record. Honestly, I know that you can't give us Central Plaza, but please make a personal space of Central Plaza where I can have my own piece of Central Plaza.
Or a clubhouse.
Or a clubhouse. Yes. Can I have a piece of Central Plaza? You gave me a rock. You gave me a rock.
We got
the rock. Now the rock, I understand, but give me a personal space. You could have charged $5 across the board, and everyone that I know that's on my friend list, which is 100 people, that's the max. That's for everybody, of course. until we get the PS4, which is like 2000. I would love that. However, as of right now, I would love to have that. It would be freaking amazing.
Not the
Now,
Yeti versus Hunter version either. Yeti versus Hunter, I think it was.
no, I want the original Central Plaza.
Central Plaza. Yes, there we go.
That rock. Oh my god! I took a break from home. I came back and went straight to my Harvard studio. Saw I had some new items in my to redecorate. I pull out this rock that says Central Plaza. Has the date. It was made to the date. It disappeared, and I was like, oh my god, no. I spent 20 minutes looking for it on the navigator. Oh my god.
My question is, where did that rock come from anyway? What part of Central Plaza had that rock?
Honestly,
no one knows.
Did you hear the cricket? I heard the cricket.
Honestly,
No one knows.
Honestly, this is where it came from. Before Central Plaza left, within the final weeks, that was one of the reward items that you got just going to Central Plaza before it left. When they integrated the hub, which was, it's been between a year or two since Central Plaza has left. That was one of the last reward items that you actually got. The biggest thing that I truly remember, that was the last event that Central Plaza had, was Dead Island. I still have those pictures to this day.
I think I still have them on a hard drive somewhere. I have to find it.
I can't remember why, but I think I missed the Dead Island event in its entirety, which just makes me angry because I heard it was such a great event and all, but I can't remember the reason why, but I think we missed it. And also on the idea of a clubhouse for Central Plaza, I just got to say, I think they would probably charge at least $3 extra for you to be able to select any other songs other than Chain Swing at the dance floor, I bet.
You know what? I would be happy with just like a clubhouse or something. That's like it's in like a skyscraper or something, and you can see Central Plaza from like the bottom. I would be happy with that, honestly, like because the chances of them making like a Central Plaza clubhouse is just so low.
Now this is my thing. Now, Pop, you made this. I have to. You made this example. I have to ask. Why do you hate Chain Swing so much? I hear so many people talk about how much they hate Chain Swing. Honestly, me personally, I loved it. It was a song. I know that a lot of people literally so seriously played that song. Every time I went into Central Plaza, that was like the number one request. But they brought it back. They literally brought that song back because a lot of people love that song.
Wait, they brought it back?
Yes. At one time when they refreshed the music for Central Plaza, a lot of people voted on the forums that they wanted to keep that song. So they did. And they brought the song back.
The thing about the song is, one, it's not my kind of style of music. I just didn't like the song in general. And the fact that it was the only song I would ever hear if I went to Central Plaza at all, ever. Like every single time I went there, Chain Swing was blaring. It's just the same song over and over again. It won't become as good as it used to be, and it wasn't very good for me to begin with.
Wasn't Chain Swing one of these songs, though, that with the original dance movement, it's like you could get into rhythm with it no matter what dance you did anyway?
Yes, very true. Before the 1.3 update for Home, we didn't have the ska dance. That was something they actually added to the dance list, because I remember when they expanded the dance list, because so many people say, hey, we need a new dance. We need a new dance. Can we get a new dance? Oh my God. And right before the 1.3 update, it was me, Big Mac, Mr. Real Bad. And this was the time when Home was glitching, and we used to do what's called combos in Home. Like, we would sit here and do all these different kind of dances, and like you could just sit here and like hit the R1 button, and you could sit here and do you could hit cheer and spin and everything else like that, and it just brings this like combo of just you dancing, popping up and down, doing this, and it was great. I miss that version of Home. Me personally, I truly miss that version of Home. It was fun. It was glitchy, I know, and honestly, if you were to try to get developers into this space to create content, I totally understand the reason why they removed it. However, it was awesome as fun. Now, how many people can actually honestly reminisce with me that far back before the 1.3 update.
I can, I think.
Nobody admit that. Only one person show their age right now. That's it.
Grandpa, you
Whatever.
heard.
Whatever. I ain't afraid to admit it. I got my PS3 like a month before PlayStation Home went to open beta, and I just noticed a little tab there. I pressed on it, and I started using it, and I stood down there for the first 5 minutes, not saying anything. Someone went up to me and used the text space, just the default hello, and then I ran away because I didn't know what to do. But it's never been the same since. I have my chamber apartment to prove it.
Honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't bring that apartment back for people to be able to at least get the space again for free. Or if not for free, hey, go ahead and charge $2.99. I have the apartment as well. And at the time, I was not using Home. I would get on Home probably once a week at the time because of the loading for Home. I remember it took about a good 15 minutes just to load Home. And I would sit here and turn on my PS3, I'll hit Home, and I will go ahead and start flipping channels. I'm happy that Home has changed. Home has upgraded. It's just amazing, I must say. Seriously.
I just hope they've learned from all their the mistakes and everything that has happened in prior to and are still going on, and that if it does go to PlayStation 4, all these errors and mistakes will be gone. That's what I hope.
Don't get your hopes up.
Any computer program. Me just using my laptop computer and I'll load YouTube. Some videos will load super fast. I can sit here and stream the entire video. I can watch whatever going on. And some videos I have to hit pause. I have to wait almost at least good 2-3 minutes just saying, being real nice with my own internet connection, which I get a nice bit of megs. However, sometimes it loads differently for other users. Like for me, one of my friends just started using Home. Takes no more than 2-3 minutes for them to load Home because it takes me everything of a good 10 minutes to load Home for myself. I literally have to sit here, load Home. I'll look at the loading screen. I'll go do something else, come back, loading screen is still there. I'll even come back, do something else. A couple minutes later, still the exact same thing. And then Home finally pulls up. So now the biggest thing that we are talking about with Home is there is a picture that is circulating right. But this picture for the PS4 shows the Home icon. Now a lot of people say it's Photoshop. A lot of people say it's not. So let's go ahead and debate about this. I really truly wonder, is Home going to be on the PS4? Or will Home die with the PS3? Let's talk about it.
I think it's going to.
You think it's going to?
Because we saw there is a video that somebody videoed with their camera of a GameStop Expo 2013. Sony GameStop Expo 2013. It's on YouTube. That's where they got this picture from.
And I mean, it's pretty believable. They had Cajun giggling like a schoolgirl.
Yeah, the guy even says, "Oops, we went too far" in the video itself. So maybe he didn't want to go back that far and accidentally show that. Who knows?
How can you not get excited?
Now there is a video. So if you truly didn't understand where Cajun was running to, because Cajun was like, "Hey, I'm gonna open up this door. Boom, let's kick it wide open. We on this video." There's a video, and we'll definitely post the link below, so you guys can definitely check that out. Take out the time to watch it. Go in 9 minutes in the video.
9.4.
Okay, look, see, Cajun done watched that video on more than one occasion. He probably ran that back. Okay, hold on. My eyes is fooling me. Now, this is the thing. Now, if you notice, when you look at the actual dynamic XMB that they actually created, it looked like it's on a phone. So, will Home be on a phone app or a tablet? Or will it be centralized just to the PS4? Now, there is Now, the thing is, do you honestly think that they will change home where it can run on any device now? So if that is the case, before you respond, if that is the case, will they be removing? How would that work? You use the R2 button to speak with Mike. You also use the L1 R1 to be able to use that for communication purposes. How would you be able to run that on home with just the basics of what we have? If I'm using this on my computer or my tablet, how will this actually run?
Now, here's the thing with that. If this home that we're looking at now is, obviously next generation, and it's not just like a little port or something, will your device be powerful enough to run it?
Well, if you look at the PS Vita, I mean, a lot of people have always that question: is home or will home be able to go, or will I be able to play home on the PS Vita? And with the touchscreen, you can do so much more. And I think with it going mobile, if it does go mobile, that yes, it's going to be an adjustment, but I do believe people are going to be able to do it and still be able to do all the functionalities of PlayStation Home.
I don't know. I've played a few games that have been tried to be modified to being on a mobile platform with a touchscreen, and it just didn't feel the same than a controller. I gotta say. I mean, it felt a little bit weird in my opinion, but who knows? Maybe they found some magical control scheme on the touchscreen that'll be able to make it feel just as fine as it does with a controller. But from my experience with things that for purely touchscreen mobile games, it's just felt a little bit off to me. But maybe that's just because I've played with a controller all of my life.
We can just touch on this a little bit. What do you guys think about the new dynamic menu? Because the video reminded me of that.
I've grown used to the XMB. Well, since I've got my PS3, I mean, I've seen what other consoles have to offer via the home menu or the equivalent of the XMB for other consoles, and I'm all ready for the new layout for the PS4. I'm perfectly fine with it. It'll take a little bit getting used to, most likely, but I think it'll be all for the better, definitely, from what I've seen of it. It'll be really good, especially since it looks like they're giving the PS4 is going to have like 3 gigabytes or something reserved for the operating system itself, which will mean that home menu will just be able to pop up with no lag, almost no matter what you're doing, it seems like. It's just, I have high hopes for the main menu.
Now I don't know if this is just me, but for some reason, when I see the dynamic menu, it looks sort of like a combination of like Facebook and the PlayStation Store. So I'm still trying to warm up to it. It's kind of interesting.
Are you talking about the old PlayStation Store or the new PlayStation Store? Because that's a whole other topic.
Actually, with any devices, with anything new, there's always going to be a little change to it. And for all we know, I mean, from the videos and the expos that have already happened of them showcasing what the PlayStation 4 is capable of doing and the transitions, golly, it's just going to be something that we're going to have to get used to. But I think it's going to work for the best because just the transitions alone was awesome. The way you're able to get into one game, come out of it, your friend send you a message, jump right into another game, and then he didn't even jump into the beginning of the game, the beginning screen. He jumped right into the match with his friend just like that. It was awesome.
We are talking about the video from Gamescom where Shuhei Yoshida basically went through the whole XMB UI for the new PlayStation 4. Honestly, I do kind of agree. It does look like the current PlayStation Store with a twist of the XMB. I was surprised for just the PS3, they never updated the XMB. They pretty much always kept it the same. They allowed you to get applications, you could be able to download. However, there was no updates for it, giving it like different tiles or different versions of it, like some competitors like Xbox, for example. Or even with Nintendo. Nintendo has kept the same screen for themselves as well, where you can be able to go in and get your content, play games, whatever. That I would say right now, this is a demo of the PS4. Now, once it goes live, you have all these people demanding to be on this server. Will the capability of you jumping into the gameplay will still be as seamless? Or will you still have those errors and issues when you try to play with other people?
Well, the same can be said for nearly all of these kinds of things. Everything has a launch day hiccup from what I've seen, whether it be Diablo 3 with its infamous Error 37, or just recently Final Fantasy 14. I hear that some people are having trouble on those servers because too many people are going in. It seems like every single thing that uses a bunch of online capabilities has some hiccup in some form on launch day or launch week. So the PS4 may be the one that proves us wrong, but I mean, if it's anything like the way that Diablo 3 or the new Sim City went, it'll have some hiccups on launch day most likely, but hopefully it won't be that bad. Hopefully it'll prove us wrong and it'll actually work perfectly on day one, but I don't know. I just always hold everything back until the actual product gets out. Then I decide whether or not it's actually how good or how bad it is. I mean, it's just right now. It's just all speculation.
All right. So for you hardcore Resident Evil, the HD collection, if you are a PlayStation Plus member, you get that free. Oh yeah, coming out this week. I heard Pop said, "Oh my God, really, Pop? Tell me, Pop, what you feel about it?"
I am like the biggest fan of Resident Evil who hasn't played many of the classic games, and I know I need to. Like, now that you say that, I'm thinking, oh my God, I finally get to play the games I loved that I haven't played before. So, yeah. I'm actually looking forward to that now that I know. Thanks for telling me. I didn't hear about this before until now. Thanks, you heard. I heard it from you heard. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that now. Thanks for telling me.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you guys have not went out and go ahead and purchase Plus, what are you waiting for? There's a lot of games, there's a lot of content, there's a lot of different things you can play. Saints Row 3, I don't know if that's still available. I know Hitman Absolution is. I think Saints Row 3 is gone now. But you actually had the option to get Little Big Planet 2. There's so many games, so many games. And if you haven't got it, definitely that is a must-have. Plus, especially if you are planning to transition over to the PS4, you have to have Plus if you want to play online games only. And actually, some games do not require Plus at this point. However, as any company, things can change. That's the evolving of everything. Just like E3, Sony hit every mark that every gamer wanted to hear. Use games. I can still swap out my hard drive if I want to. So if I want to go to a terabyte, hey, here I come terabyte. I can just imagine all the games that will be available to download. Even with me not even having Plus, the games that I use with Plus as a discount, I bought so many games. We pretty much focused on home tonight. We actually did not get into PAX much. Now I'm just going to add this. One thing that they did announce during PAX about the actual new PS camera is that you can give it commands and navigations. So I just want to get some last minute feedback from you guys before we go ahead and end it for the night. Now, if you have not heard, basically with the new camera, to me, it kind of does something like what the Kinect does in a way, because you can give it commands. You can say probably PS4 on, maybe. I don't know. We don't know the full command types. We won't know until later, but that was announced. What do you guys actually think about it? So, up for discussion, Mr. Pob. What you think, sir?
It's like Connect, but it's not. The end.
Well, definitely that is a great way to answer that. Curse, what you got?
I do love how they're not. It's pretty much, it's sort of like the Connect, but it's not like Pop said. And I like how they're not shoving it down our throats like a certain, company.
I honestly like it. It's not a mandatory tool. The camera is optional. You don't have to buy it. If I don't have it connected, guess what? I don't have to worry about my system not working. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh my.
Wow. Mr. Cajun for life, what you think, man?
Well, I think it's going to open the door for a lot of cool features in some of the games. So I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to try it myself. And we just going to have to be patient and see.
Now, I got a friend, Mr. Adam, and what he told me, he was actually watching some video, and you can, now with the Kinect, you can be playing a game, and there's some zombies there. And in this video, I don't know exactly what game it is.
I'd bet Dead Rising 3.
Probably Dead Rising 3, probably. Probably Dead Rising 3. You can actually say, hey, and get the zombies' attention using the actual Kinect. I think that is an awesome feature. I'm not going to lie. Now, I do like the fact that with the controller, it has basically a speaker. So how would that integrate with the camera?
I'm just gonna feel sorry for that one guy who brings his console to a party that's like no one, and it's like so loud all the time, and he's trying to play Dead Rising 3, and just like the zombies won't stop missing him. They'll just keep following him no matter where he goes.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that was a good podcast, guys. Now, so Pop, did you have any shout-outs that you would like to get? What you got for me, Pop?
Yeah, well, first off, of course, I'd like to give a shout out to the crew of the HIPodcast. Thanks for having me here this week. I hope to return, and I will return. Mark my words, I will be back. I also want to give a shout out to my own club, Home Nation. We're just a group of guys who like to get together and talk about games, talk about home, things of that sort of nature. We're actually having a pretty awesome event soon. The day before Grand Theft Auto 5 comes out, we're just going to have a giant Grand Theft Auto 4 launch party and just wreak havoc on Liberty City in every way we can think of, in addition to the multiplayer modes like Deathmatch, GTA Race, or Cops and Crooks, anything of that sort of nature. It's just going to be a good time, and we'd love to have you guys there. If you want to join Home Nation, just send a club request to literally Home Nation with a capital H and a capital N and a space in between. I'd also like to give a shout out to TSFRJ. Just keep driving that train of life, buddy. I'd also like to give a shout out to Sandino108. I'd also like to give a shout out to my friend KLC Killer. She's a really awesome gamer who just she's probably one of the most dedicated gamers I know. Me and her played Saints Row 4 recently, which was that's a whole other story. But so that's the shout outs that I want to give today.
Well, thank you, Mr. Pop. All right, so Curse, what shout outs do you have tonight, man?
Well, I would like to give a shout out to Pop for being a very, very interesting guest, keeping the show alive, as well as, of course, Legendary Hurricanes. And by the way, we are having an event for breast cancer awareness this weekend, Saturday, September the 7th. So, yeah.
All right, so Mr. Cajun for life, do you have any shouts you want to give tonight, sir?
Heck yeah. I'm going to give a shout out to Versatile Genius. He's got himself started a new club, and I think he's going to go in the right direction with it, and we'll wait and see how that goes for him. And then Boobins, an advocate home user. He does, he's got a lot of faith in home, and he does help out a lot of different people. So then, as always, LH, you always going to get a shout out from me. LSU Tigers fan, I love it, brother. And I think that's about it.
Now, Definitely, definitely. Boobins is a great person. I talk to him from time to time when I get a chance, and he's a real cool cat, and definitely got to give a shout out to him. Honestly, I want to give a shout out to Incognito. I want to give a shout out to my girl, Soul Girl Fly By Night. Gotta check out some of her YouTube videos that she actually posts. You can check her out on DY Gucci Barbie. Um, Also, I want to give a shout out to Miss May 2099. She has came up with something extremely creative, and knowing May, she comes out with just the most creative and interesting things. She has a mankini contest that's coming out. And that's with their Pixel Lock. So one, definitely give a shout out to them. I know I have not, May, I know if you're listening to this, I know I have not been to a Pixel Lux meeting or just hang out. I'm so sorry. When you have those things, I am like totally busy, or I may have worked and I'm just hitting the streets going out. But definitely I will. You have my word. I will definitely make sure that I am there. I will definitely be there. Also, too, I want to give a shout out to my homeboy, Mr. Big Mac 43, and also to Mr. Gerald Squall and Sophronia. Shout outs to you as well. So, I'm going to give a shout out to the Community Cast podcast with 514, Pop Mall, and Junji. I think they do a great podcast. They are really involved in the community. They pretty much post in the off topics. So I just want to give a shout out to them, honestly. I listened to their podcast a couple times, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. They talked a lot about a lot of different topics, and they honestly pull from the community and really ask a lot of people different questions to be able to do different things. So I think it's amazing what they do, and I appreciate their work. But yeah, so thank you guys for listening. We had a great time tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed all the content and things that we talked about tonight.